Hello everybody and welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. As you can see, we're together in Champaign. Today is May 28th that this is airing. We are landing in Detroit from Heathrow Airport. So obviously we have filmed this way ahead of time.
Almost a month.
Yes. Just so we don't miss a week with you wonderful viewers. So this is Julie, my phenomenal daughter, and we've been demonstrators for over 20 years. Julie hit the 21-year mark. I will hit it this fall.
Actually, next month.
Oh, next month. Okay. See, my dates are all messed up. So anyway, so we're back, and then we will be heading back here to Champaign in just a couple of days for Claire's graduation.
Oh my gosh.
So I just have to brag on my grandkids stuff, because they're all absolutely phenomenal. Anna and Elise were in Matilda, and what a great show, and they did such a wonderful job. I was so proud of them. I wanted to keep standing up and yay, but I restrained myself. And then we saw Claire play in a game. She unfortunately didn't pitch, however, her bat was hot, and she had some great hits, scored some runs, so yay. So it's been a wonderful weekend. We played games, we've dined on Jim's wonderful cooking.
Oh, yes.
He is such a good cook.
The only thing we didn't get to do was really stamp a whole lot.
No, we didn't.
It was just busy. But we got a stamp today with you, and so we're really excited to share with you. So
absolutely.
Why don't we switch the camera over to the desk, and we'll talk about the products that we're sharing. I'm really excited about this new suite.
I am too.
Okay, so the suite we're using today is Fresh as a Daisy. It's on page 110 and 111 of the May 2023 to April 2024 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. And this one I think is probably one of your favorites, isn't it, Mom?
It most certainly is, because daisies are my favorite flower.
Yes, I love this suite because it features the new in colors: Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Moth, Pebble Path, and a little bit of Pretty Peacock. I think we've got some other colors in there, like some garden green, and I don't know what this light green is. I swear it looks like just jade. but I think maybe it's supposed to be Lost Lagoon. Anyway, gorgeous colors in this suite, gorgeous projects. We've got some designer paper, stamp set and die bundle, and these new embellishments, which include 3 colors. I think it is Lemon Lolly, Boho Blue, and Copper Clay. I don't know that I've used these yet. The faceted gems, what are they called? Adhesive backed solid gems, but they do have a little facet and a little bump to them. Well, let me show you the star of this suite, and that is the designer paper. I kept it 12 by 12 so you can see that this sheet has these little, I don't know what you call them, like little sections that are just different, like vignettes. I just love that one with the pink and the white.
You know what? I made cards up using this page and forgot to bring them.
Oh no.
Dang.
So I love that you can cut that apart and use it. And then you have some gorgeous designs here on the other side that again feature those in colors. So beautiful. These two are pretty similar. This one has a lot more yellow in it with the little those aren't Black-Eyed Susans, are they? Like,
well, they look like Black-Eyed Susans, but I don't know what they are in the little miniature form.
I guess these are more, well, these have side daisies too. I don't know. Anyway, they're different. I just wanted to point out they're very similar, but they are different, those two patterns. And then this one with the Moody Mauve and the Wild Wheat and Bubble Bath, the new pink. This one's so pretty with the Boho Blue. So this is another one where it's kind of like you need to see the whole sheet to see it, because the flowers just kind of come from the bottom. And then I don't have a full sheet. I cut it of this one, but this does come in 12 by 12. And the opposite sides all have these brush strokes with those in colors. So the 5 in colors, and then this one has got some like Pretty Peacock garden green kind of mixture there. So beautiful and nice to layer with the other patterns. And we've got our designer paper. Our stamp set is a 2-step stamp set, photopolymer stamps. And then we have coordinating dies. So we've got some really beautiful dies that coordinate or die cut the stamped images, and then some that are detailed that kind of add a nice touch to everything else, and then I like that little stitched label. So let me show you some samples using this suite. I got quite a few. It was a popular suite for pre-order swap. The first two are ones that I made using the detail die cut here in the background, and the other detail die cut I stamped on the paper and used some of the in color gems on this one in copper clay. And here's another one where I layered the die cuts. So that's going to be these two images here, layered those on top of each other, and then stamped and die cut the center. The leaves come from the larger die cut. I just die cut twice on some green paper, and I left the inside in instead of popping it out. I just kind of let it be there and taped it on the back. And then here's a swap from Jennifer Cotton. This pattern I think was the most popular in my swaps. I didn't even bring them all out to show you. This one's from Teresa Tucker, doing some embossing on the crushed curry cardstock. This one is Ruth Bingle. So she colored the die cut. And this one, Tracy Jacobs, just kind of highlighting that designer paper. This one's from Betsy Kreider, die cut daisies. I love that with that color. And then this one from Sandy Carlson, just uses some of those detailed die cuts, so just two of them from that big piece. And the last card is from Jody Reinhardt. I love how she just let the designer paper kind of be the star of the show.
Yes.
So many beautiful things to do with this suite, and I can't wait, Mom, to see your project. So let's let you bring your stuff over.
Okay.
Okay, so as Julie and I talked about, this is like my favorite suite so far. So I'm using it, and I made a bunch of samples and left them at home. So I apologize for that. So I'm taking a piece of the designer series paper, 12 inches by 4 1/4. I'm scoring it at 1 inch and 6.5 inches, so that this piece is the 5.5 as you fold it over. I also have a piece of Pretty Peacock at 5 1/4 by 4 inches, a piece of basic white, which is 5 inches by 3 3/4. And I have a piece of Lemon Lolly, 3 inches by 1/2 inch, and a piece of the copper clay. I started off with about a 4 1/4 by 3 inch piece, and then I die cut it with this stitched radiating stitches, which is really just, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this.
This is one of the online exclusives that came out in March.
Yes.
And while we're filming it, I think it's currently unavailable, but I think by the time the video airs, it should be
It
back
should
in
be
stock.
back in stock, if not shortly soon after that. So I took this die right here on my copper clay piece. So that's what I'm using, and I really like the edging it gives. It just adds a little texture to it. So that's what I used for this. I'll put these aside and we'll go ahead and get started. So I also stamped a daisy in copper clay. That I will die cut. Actually, I've already done it, but I'm going to show you what I did to it. And I'm going to take a blender pen and just kind of pull some of that ink from the center or from the bottom kind of towards the center.
I love this technique. It's just so subtle and really,
Just adds a little bit.
yeah.
All right, then I'm going to take some Lemon Lolly. I'm going to use that again in just a minute for our greeting. It makes Julie nervous.
It does?
No. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of Lemon Lolly and put that in the center. And then through the magic of television, there it is. Ta-da! All right, I'm going to take my basic white little piece here, and I'm going to take the smaller of these in copper clay in this corner and do the very same thing. Just take this little blender pen just a little bit to give it some interest. Goes pretty fast. And then I'm going to take the little center, flower center, and just stamp that in here. All right. And then I think this is done. Nope, I need I need this greeting.
Oh, I gotta clean it.
All right. Apparently we're using the same greetings again.
Literally like the exact same stamps. Oh my
All right.
gosh.
So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to stamp "You Made My Day," which I probably should have pre-done this one too. Let me try it again. This is real difficult to stamp at this
I
angle.
know, on camera.
Good enough.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. All right. And then the inside greeting, which is, well, let me get ink on it. I can read it better.
Your friendship means
Everything. So we're going to just go ahead and, as Julie's closing up stamps, ink pads. All right. So I believe,
love these colors.
yeah, I believe our stamping is all done now. And we're going to do some assembly. Oh, it is not done. I forgot one little extra thing. And I need the copper clay. And I do want a little piece of this grid paper, because I will go off the sides here a little bit. And I'm just going to stamp.
Oh, hold on. There's a hair. I got it.
And I'm turning that over.
Why are you turning it over?
Because I missed. So there we go. And maybe one over here. And then maybe one over here.
Quick side note about the grid paper. This is the new in color grid paper, and I like a smaller pad. I'm missing our small grid paper, so I just cut that grid paper pad right in half with my big paper cutter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like the smaller grid.
That is very awesome.
If you're wondering where that came from.
All right, so now we're going to take some adhesive, and I'm going to put this is going to be our inside, by the way.
Gosh, there's just hair sticking to everything.
There is.
I think I got it. Is there another one?
Yep.
It fell on the floor, and I think it just picked up dog hair. Oh. Okay.
Thanks, Julie. All right. So we're going to put this on, not upside down. Not that it matters at this point, I don't think, but we're going to go ahead and put this on our. And so this is kind of a matchbook, if you will. So let me just get some good creases in here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. I don't know that I would have ever thought to put these colors together. Would you?
I think they're really pretty for fall.
They are.
Peacock and a sort of copper,
Yep.
the rusty copper clay color.
Yep, there we go. So there's our inside all done. Now we're going to work on our outside. And I'm going to kind of put this down in this. Thanks, Julie.
Holding it up off camera. I do the same thing. Got to copy exactly what I did before.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down right about there. And then I'm going to put our flower here. And then I'm going to banner cut our edges.
Do you need to have it loose at the bottom to tuck the paper under? Or?
I do. And hopefully it's loose enough. I think I debated about what to do edgewise, and I just love this little banner cut. So, and I obviously, because I wasn't sure what I was doing, I used a little bigger piece of lemon lolly than was actually needed. But that's okay.
I like it bigger. If it's too small, it's hard to stamp on.
It really is. Okay. So that is going to go right about there. So we're going to use some dimensionals now. which Julie so nicely got out for me. Because as is our usual, the car is packed.
We're squeezing in one video.
Yeah.
It was a busy weekend.
It was, yes, it was.
Very busy.
But wonderful. It was such a good weekend. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on here as well. I can't wait to see your project. I didn't show her what I was doing till after I got here. And I really am not quite sure what she's doing. But I think I'm going to put this up here. Okay. Now I'm going to use some of our in color glossy dots. And I've been burning through these. Other side, yeah. Well, I'm just going to tear the whole thing right apart.
I love these too. They're my new favorite.
Yeah,
I love
they
that they're
really
just
are.
kind of flat, and they've got all of our favorite new colors.
Exactly. That's it exactly, is that they're, I like the fact that they're flat. I should have brought a tool out, but I didn't. All right, let's put another little guy right with him. Let's go up a little bit. And then the medium guy, I find myself using like one of each size, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out where I put the other one here. There we go. So I'm going to put, put this right about there. So the other thing that I brought out of Julie's, because mine is sitting in a box on my table, is this 23 to 25 in color jute trim. So just, it's interesting. We haven't had jute for a little while. So what I did is I took the copper clay.
I want you to show how thick it is in comparison.
Oh
with
yeah,
the
that's a good
linen
idea.
threads.
All right, because originally I was going to put a linen thread bow on here, which would have been fine. But just to show you the difference, if you can see it. So this is pretty thick compared to our linen thread. So I thought maybe it might be a little too thick for a bow. So I peeled it apart. Oh, let me get off the Post-it notes. So I just kind of pulled it apart.
I love that look. Just sort of like.
Just to fray it a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of take a glue dot and put it there. So, thank you. Yes, I was just going to trim this a little bit.
Oh.
And actually, I wonder if I should split this a little. Just to kind of untwist it a bit. Just to have some texture on it. Oh, thanks, Julie. My old eyeballs aren't working real good this morning. All right, so I'm going to just kind of stick this here. Let me get this all out of the way and clear this up. And then this is going to tuck under here. So this is the card front.
So fun.
And then the inside.
I love that.
So there it is.
I love how you can see both the inside and the outside of the designer paper.
Yeah.
Designer paper card bases are awesome.
Yes, they are. And I haven't done it too often. So I'm going to move out of the way now.
Yeah, I was just going to say this one's laying flat. You can
Oh,
kind of
yes.
show that. And I don't know, it's just a different cut of the paper.
Yes,
It has
is.
more green at the bottom, and it just sort of like sticks out a little more.
That
Love
is
the
a
way
little bit
turned
different.
out.
So you can take whichever one you want.
Oh. All right, awesome card, Mom. We're going to switch everything over on the desk
right.
now so I can share my card.
There you go.
Okay, my card is a fun fold too. I love that we both did that this week. I was inspired by a card I received in a fun fold card swap that I participated while I was in Utah. This one is from Jackie Bullheis, and I've seen this card before. I'm not sure what it's called. It just kind of has a belly band and then like it folds out. So I dissected Jackie's card to get some measurements so that I could make my own version and share with you. So we're going to start with a card base that is 5.5 by 11 inches. So we're gonna use almost a whole sheet of cardstock. Score at 1 1/4, 5 1/2, and 9 1/4. And then we're gonna do some designer paper to decorate the different panels. So on this panel, we're gonna have 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. That's gonna be on the inside. Also on the inside, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we're gonna have some designer paper pieces for those flaps. So this one is 1 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then we've got 2, and these are just flip sides of each other, that are 1 inch by 5 1/4. This is a great fold to show off some coordinating designer paper. For our belly band, I've got a strip that is 1 inch by 11. And then look at that, I'm also using the radiating stitches dies. This one is from the smallest of those rectangular stitches. Mom used the larger one on her project. I was going to use a different die, and then I went to get it. The scalloped contours, my go-to, and I found these in the spot. I didn't even realize that you would use it on your card. I also have a 1 3/4 inch circle and a little piece of white scrap to do some stamping on. So let's do our stamping first, and then we'll work on putting our card together. So we're gonna stamp on the inside, we're gonna stamp and die cut, and then we're gonna stamp on the circle for the sentiment. So this is the inside piece. It is, again, 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp, "You made my day." Kind of, I know, the inverse though. I'm using that on the inside.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm using the other one on the front. "Your friendship means everything." I kind of debated on whether that was dark enough on this cardstock, but I think it is.
I think it works, yeah.
I think you can read it okay. If you're concerned about it, you can always do like a white embossing and change that up a little bit. I'm gonna do the large daisy, and this is gonna be die cutting, so it can go anywhere on our scrap. I'm also gonna add one in the corner. And so far looking a lot like yours, Mom. We both got daisies. And then for the center, I'm using some wild wheat, which is the same color as the cardstock. That's really off. I'm gonna do that again. Oh, all right. That's what I love about our designer paper. There's 2 sides, and if you screw it up, you can always redo it. Okay, for the die cutting, I am gonna bring in some of the garden green. It's one of the colors in the paper, and I'm gonna stamp 2 leaves and then die cut those with the coordinating cheerful daisy dies. Whoop, just like that. Not so easy in real life, but I mean, it's not hard in real life, but I just did it ahead so that we wouldn't have to fuss with the die cutting machine. All right, one more thing we're gonna stamp, and that is the card base. I've left my wild wheat open because we're gonna do some stamping on that card base, just like Jackie did. I'm gonna start, let's see here, folding this in half on that crease line, and then, well, maybe the other way. I always get this confused. I think I did want to go the other way. And then we have our large flap in the front, and then this one folds over the front as well. So we sort of have these 2 flaps. It's like 2 check marks that nest inside of each other for the fold, okay? So that is our card base, and this is the bit that I want to do the stamping on. So now that I've got it folded, I can kind of see that. I'm using the smaller daisy, and I'm going to do this in wild wheat on the wild wheat cardstock.
Oh, it makes me laugh.
I know, right? Right down the side. Well, that was kind of like Jackie had that stamping on there, and I sort of like that. So, all right, and then yeah, we always end up doing the same things.
Yeah.
So Mom's got the little daisies got for clay. Oh, okay. So now we're ready to do some gluing. Let's start on the inside. So this white piece is going to be where we'll write our message. That's going to go on the main inside panel. And then the large paper pattern here with the daisies. And this is going to go on the other panel. Oh no! It's too big. That's all right. We're gonna get a little paper trimmer. And I might have...
Wow. I'm so glad it's not just me that messes up things like this.
Okay, so that should be 3.5 inches by, we'll have the right measurement in the video description, but this is 3.5 inches. So I just had to cut a little, I cut a 1/4 inch off, right? Yes. Okay, second guessing myself. A 1/4 inch off of there. All right. Now, the other ones should be right, I hope. I've got this piece. I wanted to have the solid color next to the busy pattern, so we're going to do that. Over here. And this is going to show in the front as well. On this flap, I've got one for the front and one for the back. That's why we've got 2 of these. So the one that has a solid color is going to go inside. I suppose you could do the green on each side. This is actually a different pattern than that. So I just kind of wanted to even that out. So that's the inside, and then the front, I'm gonna have a little touch of that green and daisy pattern. Okay. Loving it. Next up, we're gonna use that belly band, and we are just going to wrap around our card front. And instead of pre-scoring, I'm just gonna kind of just eyeball it, I think, because the card itself is 4 1/4, and so if you score it, you might, you know, like it needs like
slightly more.
Yes, like 4 1/4 and a little bit more. Yeah. So I think just wrapping it is probably the best way to go. I brought in some tear and tape to hold it closed. You definitely want to use something that is strong adhesive to keep it from popping open. And so I'm going to add that to one end. And that's just going to adhere onto itself like that. We want it to be tight enough that it's going to keep the card closed, but you don't want it to be too tight that it is hard to slide up and down. Next, we have our Radiating Stitches label, and this is going to go on, I don't know, I think probably with Stampin' Dimensionals, although you very much could just use the tear and tape. So first, let's get it decorated. We're gonna have our daisy over here and our circle. Which way do we want to have the daisy? Do we want to have the daisy on, I feel like the daisy on that side pops more without the different patterns.
Okay.
But then, what do you think about this circle being?
I like it that way with the daisy to the left, but do
this way?
Do it whichever way you want it.
Like, which is my left? This way. Is that the way you like it?
I like it that way.
I think I like it that way too.
Okay.
I don't like, this is too much gray all in one place. So we're gonna break up that gray. All right, I'm going to use some dimensionals on the daisy.
Do you want to put your leaves on the daisy? Or?
I'm gonna kind of tuck them underneath. So I'm gonna add the daisy in the corner, and then I like the little glue dots on the end of the leaves. And then, because these are so tiny, that like they're not gonna stick out very much, so that we can really like maximize maximize that let's scoot them a little bit, maximize that that color. And then the circle's gonna go over here. So I knew this was gonna hang off, so I just used one circle. All right, so now this is gonna go on here. What do you think? Dimensionals? Tear and tape?
Well, since you put dimensionals on the flower and the circle.
And it's already kind of big, maybe just some tear and tape?
I would use tear and tape.
Okay. I don't wanna try to guess the right place here since this is only 1 inch. So I am going to use my tear and tape right onto the belly band in the center where I know it's gonna get covered up. And then we'll just add this right on top. And we can move that belly band if we want it high, if we want it low. I think I like it a little higher there instead of in this. I don't know, maybe. Well, whatever. Whichever way you want it. There's the finished card. And then inside, we've got all that beautiful designer paper.
Such a nice card, Julie.
Thank you. Do we need to bling it up?
I always am first one. But you know, that's
Well, where did those in color? These are the ones that come in the suite. Although I don't think these colors don't really go with my card so much. So let's bring in those in color gems that Mom used. And probably the Pebbled Path. What do you think? Or
where are you going to put them?
I don't know.
Either the wheat ones or the Pebbled Path, again, depending on where you want them.
I'm kind of
then definitely the Pebbled
thinking,
Path.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, wonderful.
Oh, yay! All right, well, let's flip off the, let's flip the camera and we'll show up our cards together. Oh my goodness. I love the way our cards turned out. This suite is just so beautiful. And I especially love that it features the in colors. Mom used Copper Clay, I used Wild Wheat and Pebbled Path, and then some other new in colors like Lemon Lolly. So I think Fresh as a Daisy is a fresh new suite to add to your collection.
I just want to point something out very quickly. So as you saw when we were stamping, we were using a lot of the same images, die cuts, but look how different they look.
I know.
Amazing.
And I just realized this stamp has a two-step. It has a solid version, and neither one of us used it this time. I think we were both going, well, I definitely was going for more of like a white, white daisy. So I love that you can use the outline for that, and then you can color it in and use some other things. Do daisies come in other colors?
Oh, well, there's Gerber daisies, so yes, they do.
Yes.
So
I think the in colors are perfect with this Fresh as a Daisy suite. Very earthy, just so beautiful. So I know you as well as I will be using this so much in the coming year. I'm so excited to see this in the annual catalog.
I am too. Well, we're going to wrap this up so we can get on the road. So until next Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, goodbye, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye, Mom.
Bye, babe.